Hey everybody, this is 100-Bit Comms. We're taking back up the mantle with the Sony press conference at E3.
And I wanted to notify, which I've said 100 times over, that Sony and PlayStation I'm a little bit inept at. So I know of the news, and I'll chip in when I can, but this will primarily mostly be Michael's thing.
Thankfully, this was the only one I was able to watch. Unfortunately,
It started
the rest
late.
it started at 6, which
Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, thank God it did, because I worked until 5:30. So guess who was driving as fast as humanly possible home to watch it at 6?
The Crew coming out
This
now.
guy, what?
Talking about driving fast.
Beta is July. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, alrighty then. So, just a heads up. I took down as many notes as I could, and I was kind of curious right before. Something that we didn't mention was PlayStation Now. I forgot that the beta was out for that, and I thought to myself like, the beta kind of blows. I'm sorry. There was like one game that was worth playing out of the entirety of it. Whatever.
The only one that interested me was when they were talking about Ultra Street Fighter 4 coming to it, and that's just a way so I can play it without buying it.
Well, that part is later on. I'm talking about the like currently right now on the beta. There's like one game actually worth playing on it. But anyways, all right. So I was asking myself before the conference, like literally like I think a minute before, like, hey, is PlayStation Now going to show up?
It does, but yeah, that'll.
A spoiler alert, it does. Anyways, so to start it off, room is dead silent. Lights dim. Random images start showing up.
Actors take stage.
Actors take stage. Center left. No. Destiny. Boom.
Center left.
Destiny took the stage by storm. Delicious Destiny lore.
A lot of information.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, not much about the game, but about what's happening for the game's release.
Well, I mean, as far as the game's story goes, they've already talked a lot about the story. We know that humanity had a golden actually, that part was not necessarily touched up upon. We knew that there was a golden age. We did not know that the Traveler is what started the golden age. So the trailer starts out with present day, and these people are, it's the first expedition to the moon. Or I'm sorry, not to the moon, to Mars. And they're walking on Mars. They're like herpa derpa derp, and then whoa, that is a giant sphere thing in the atmosphere of Mars. How did we miss that with a telescope? So yeah, spoiler alert. What? There's a giant moon thing on the side of whatever. Anyways, so beautiful trailer. It jumped right into the lore, and that's what I greatly appreciated. I would have liked Dragon Age to actually have given us something involving like, more lore details, like something. All we really found out was, hey, character has chaos powers because we feel like it. Destiny actually jumped into it. They gave us a great little bit of information as far as, the beta and stuff like that. They actually dropped the beta's date, which was July 17th. 17th. So that's in a month. That's pretty much a month. So I just putting that into context. I'm at a loss for words apparently. So, and then a nice little
can't handle it.
Yeah, a nice little drop was, by the way, for all you PS4 owners, register now because we're doing an alpha this Thursday. Well,
And it's okay.
I have yet to delve into it yet. I got my code for the alpha a little bit after Mark did, and by a little bit I mean the day after. So I was kind of bummed for a bit, and then I got really happy in the middle of work, and everybody was looking at me like I was some crazy guy because I was like squealing like a girl. But I got it. And spoiler alert, that's what I'm doing this week. I'm showing off the Destiny alpha for this week. Depending on how much alpha footage there is, it might even be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I'm stoked for it. So you guys better be too. Anyways, so yeah, and then they talk about the Destiny bundle, which was a white PS4 with a white controller and the Destiny game, obviously.
About $450.
Yeah, you're really just saving $10 and you're getting the new, looking console. And so, unfortunately, you can't. I want to say like have the alpha and the beta like information stored on that white guy, or I'm sorry, that white PS4.
What?
Yeah, and that's kind of a bummer. But at the same time, I'm okay with my black PS4. I'm perfectly fine. And they announced that the white PS4 controller is going to be sold separately. So I will live. What about you, Mark? Will you live?
I'll survive.
There we go. Confirmation,
I'm
everyone.
happy with the PS4 that I have. It does what it does.
Yes, we will breathe. I'm happy. I'm extremely happy with mine. I'm so far every game that I've bought for it is overwhelmingly good.
After that, they went into the Order 1886.
Yeah,
I get the year messed up.
Yeah, the new CEO Andrew House took the stage. He talked about the alpha. He was the one that actually talked the details of Destiny. Then he also brought up the Order 1866. You didn't know it was the Order 1886. Oh god, I mess up the year too.
It's gonna take a while.
You didn't know it was the Order until they kind of like pan back and they show one of those like Templar guys or whatever they're called, and that's when you're like, okay, this is the Order. That's what this is. I did want to say about it though, from what they showed us, if that is actual gameplay as a vertical slice, it has some really beautiful transitions between cinematics and actual gameplay. Like, it was flawless.
I think it was a werewolf thing.
There was a werewolf thing.
The thing from Harry Potter, the third movie.
That prisoner of Azkaban, dough.
I hope they all look like that and are all as moody.
Then after that, they did talk about a new game that Bomb Drop is available now, called Entwined.
Story of a bird and a fish that are gonna that they're in love with each other, but they can't be together. But they find a way to combine to become a dragon.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because it's like a rhythm game, so to speak. And it's out now. It's $10 on the PS4 store. So if you're somewhat interested, it's pretty cool. Similar control scheme. When I saw it at first, the first thing I thought to, like control wise, was Brothers Tale of Two Sons, and that control scheme jacked me up good. So I am looking forward to. I will eventually get it. I did not feel obligated to get it immediately, but when I get it, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. It was a surprise. I was surprised to see that rhythm games are kind of making a comeback this year. I'm
liking this trend of emotional titles. At least that's what I think it's going to be.
Or that's what it's. No.
Along with Valiant Hearts and Abzu or whatever. Oh crap!
Okay, yeah. Spoiler alert. Okay. Anyways,
nobody knows can spell it.
After that, lights dim. Lights come back on. Scott Roddy. I hope I didn't butcher his last name. He takes the stage and. The first thing that pops up is infamous Second Son DLC. I knew that it was going to pop up, and I'm glad it did.
I was writing down infamous Second Son, and then when the DLC cut the Second Son part and put in First Light.
Yeah, it's God, I keep saying spoiler alert. It's its own standalone DLC. You don't have to own the game in order to buy this $15 worth of content. I believe that they said 15, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Something like that. I think ballpark 15 to 20. No, I think 15. But it's standalone, so you don't even need to own it. And it's somewhat of an origin story for one of the characters you meet during Second Son's, length of game. So I'm actually pretty excited for that. And I actually, just like Valiant Hearts, because it's supposed to come out next month in July, if I remember correctly. I put a little note in my phone calendar to either pre-order it or purchase it during when it came out. I don't remember which one I put it in for, because you have that option and you get an extra wallpaper or something like that, and an extra costume for pre-ordering the standalone DLC.
And then surprise, Little Big Planet 3.
Whoa! When that came out, my jaw dropped and I went, holy guacamole!
They didn't build up at all. It's like the first light trailer ended and then just a big picture of Little Big Planet 3, and then they all came out, hey, we're going to show you the game.
And they introduced 3 new characters. Mark, what are their names?
Toggle, Odd Sock, and Swoop.
They all have their own little power-ups. One of them's a dog.
A fat guy, a bird.
And the fat guy could actually change sizes between being fat and being really small.
Yeah, like Super Meat Boy style.
It's pretty cool.
And what I liked was that they said that Little Big Planet 1 and 2's user-created levels will be available to play in...
transferable to this new game.
Yeah, which obviously that's big for Little Big Planet's support and stuff like that.
That one wasn't given a release date, but a release window of November.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Then after that, Yoshidi takes the stage. I forget what he's...
We're going to do a complete mood shift.
Yeah. He takes the stage. The Japanese CEO, if I remember correctly.
I only know Miyamoto.
Like
Sakurai.
He
Reggie.
takes the stage. And Bloodborne. He talks about how there was a game that was like near and dear to his heart. And that how, he brought the producer back, so to speak.
I was expecting something charming when he said that. He's like, I'm bringing something back that was very close to my heart. And then it's just god-awful. I mean, like, this blood and gore and horror fail. Bloodborne.
And it's Bloodborne that's set to release in 2015. And for you guys that didn't recognize the director and stuff like that, the credits that... or the pre-credits that rolled in the beginning of the footage, it's the people that made Demon Souls.
And they said something later on in the E3's coverage that it was a spiritual successor.
Yeah, because they're trying to break away from the Souls name, seeing how Dark Souls is immensely popular. Mm-hmm. And everybody was getting confused between Demon Souls and Dark Souls. People were saying, yeah, I was confused for a bit until I, was informed by one angry customer when I worked at a video game store. So, with that being said, I now know the difference. They're completely different games.
It's probably going to be was Demon Souls difficulty based?
Yeah. I think it was along the same lines where same concept and everything, and that's why it kept on being, cluttered around, at least in everybody's minds.
Oh. So
after that, they jumped right into Far Cry 4.
Which, that information we did cover from Sony's conference, but we'll rehash that last part.
Yeah, it's very actiony. Very, that was like my first reaction to it. I was like, wow, like this is very actiony compared to Far Cry 3. At least that's what I saw out of it.
And then afterward, they dropped that info about playing the game if you don't own it, as long as one of your friends do.
Yeah, the DS download made legit.
Watch, nobody's going to buy it, thinking that their friend's going to buy it.
Right from there, they decided, you know what, let's have a really, really funny trailer. And we saw the trailer for Dead Island 2, which is no longer on an island.
Is it?
Yeah, no,
it's just like
it's supposed to take place on in LA or something like that.
Los Santos,
I'm sorry. Los Santos, I'm sorry. Cool. I mean, they're breaking away from the island thing, and it should be better.
But Riptide was so fun.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Sorry. The first Dead Island was great. I really loved the concept. I really loved the first Dead Island's gameplay. Dead Island Riptide was a broken piece of mess. Did I mention
mess?
Yeah, did I mention it was a mess?
Dead weight.
Yeah, it was awful. The online interactions were awful. You always had people that were like, at least 20 levels above you, killing all the zombies for you, and you not receiving any experience because you couldn't, slip in a shell into the zombie to get like the partial credit, so to speak. So, Dead Island Riptide, no go. Dead Island 1, yes go. Dead Island 2, maybe. They announced that there was
a silly trailer. It wasn't really something that's supposed to it's supposed to let you know that it's coming.
Yeah, I will say at the end of the trailer, it sounded like Jack Black was voicing the character.
Yeah.
To me, it sounded like him, and I heard the other guy, and it was the other. I thought it was like the Tenacious D couple. And so I was like, oh really?
Maybe it's gonna go crazy like Saints Row or something.
Oh, and before they said Dead Island 2, I seriously thought it was some sort of spiritual successor to Brutal Legend. And I thought it was going to be like
he was mentioning the developers and stuff too, because they sounded like the same ones who were on Brutal Legends.
Yeah,
thing.
And so I don't know. I'm interested. They have a beta coming out for it. I don't think they announced a release window for the beta. I think they just said that if you pre-order, you get access to the beta.
Yeah.
So if you want to test out the waters before purchasing the next Dead Island, because
zombies,
because Riptide was god awful. Go ahead, put your $5 down, get your beta, and test it out. And if you don't like it, you could always get your, pre-order money back.
Diablo 3 was next.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. One last little bit for Dead Island 2. Apparently, PS4 exclusive beta, PS4 exclusive character class.
Oh.
Just saying. Okay.
All
right. Back to Diablo.
Diablo 3, it already has its release window and a date or whatever. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But all they wanted to throw in was that in honor of the game The Last of Us, there's going to be a special dungeon with The Last of Us enemies, clickers and things like that for people to fight. And I'm assuming exclusive loot.
Yeah, it's a PS4 exclusive. I don't think I definitely know Microsoft's going to be getting it. Or I'm sorry. I doubt with 100% certainty that Microsoft's not going to get it. I'm not sure if Sony's PS3 is going to get it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's PS4 exclusive.
Well, with Dead Island 2's being... Well, with the recent trend of supporting PlayStation 4 people only, because obviously Destiny for PS3 will be happening, but it got an exclusive alpha. And I'm not sure about the beta, but the alpha was for PS4 only.
No, the beta's for everyone.
Oh, the beta's for everybody, but
Yeah.
the alpha was for just PS4. There's this trend of shifting to the PS4.
And that's nice.
Xbox, like Microsoft with the Xbox
Yeah,
One.
that's nice. Though we are supposed to have 2 more years of solid PS3 support. Because when the PS3 came out in 2005, 2006, they said that it was going to have a 10-year lifespan. And right now we're pushing on 8. So it's supposed to have another 2 years. And though we did not see any games for the PS3 at E3, we are still seeing a steady stream of PS3 exclusives coming our way, through a lot of like JRPGs, to be honest, but we're still seeing them come through. Good on them.
Yeah. Then they threw in I thought it was a funny trailer for Magicka 2.
No, before Magicka 2.
What was before Magicka? Right.
Disney Infinity.
Disney Infinity with a little weird drop.
Hulk exclusive with a weird Hulk smash delayed, like, sound effect.
Right. They were presenting it, and then when they went into the next game, you heard Hulk smash! Like, oh, okay.
Alright, well, calm down, buddy.
Technical issues. I like the way the guy recovered from it. He's like, Hulk smash is right?
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful recovery.
So nice save.
Yeah, and then Magicka 2, PS4.
With a funny little trailer.
That was indeed great.
The wizard looking for work.
Yeah, I found that very interesting.
Driver's license required. Oh. It's a fun little title. It's a tabletop, or not tabletop, top down.
Yeah, and so during this trend, I believe it shifted again to somebody else. Tim Schafer. That's who it was. Mm-hmm. Was it somebody else?
Tim Schafer.
I think, if I remember correctly, it shifted people, like announcer or spokesman. There we go. Mm-hmm. And he jumped into, well, we believe PlayStation's all about the games, and to reiterate that, we love you guys sending in feedback, and they went into this whole spiel about
reading letters
from quote-unquote fans. And the reason why I say quote-unquote fans is because the first one right off the bat was apparently a fake letter from, if I remember, if this is the correct one, Tim Schafer, mm-hmm. the guy from Grim Fandango.
Which I don't know, but yeah.
Double Fine is working on it.
A remake.
On a remake. And I'm a fan of Double Fine. They're a great studio, so I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played Grim Fandango. I don't know what the deal with it is. I don't know if I'll play the original before the remake comes out, but I am looking forward to something new for the PS4.
That's always good.
And then they jumped right into
Devolver Digital, apparently they're working with, which is getting a lot of what I saw were Steam titles and stuff like that coming to the PlayStation 4. Most notably Broforce out of that list.
And Hotline Miami 2.
Oh.
Most recently, Hotline Miami was a PS Plus game that you could get free if you had PS Plus on your PS3. And, that I'm glad to see that they're working co, and I definitely put Devolver as a publisher to look out for in the future. They look like they're bringing some genuinely good games to new platforms.
Yeah.
And that's always welcome in my heart. Always welcome. Bring me over your PC games. Bring me over your Xbox games. Bring them. I will enjoy them all.
So Devolver Digital got people happy with the indie titles, and then
they got jumped right back into console exclusives.
I liked what they did with this next one.
Nice and weird.
They introduced Suda51, and everybody knew who they were. The weirdos with
the weirdos, exactly,
chainsaw,
the weirdos.
Killer 7, anything that was odd.
Yeah, they're the ones that work on it, and they have something else. They're working on something else called Let It Die,
which
set for 2015.
Yeah, the game itself looked tame compared to Suda51. Like a guy
compared to other
killing somebody and just grabbing whatever he has. Like he was the trailer was them carrying like whatever they could find.
It was live action. It was not a gameplay.
Yeah.
unless the graphics were just that great, which I don't think they are, because I don't think we've quite hit that level yet.
Yeah, the tone that they were going for was really gritty, which I thought was against them.
Yeah, they're really into, well, I don't know, not Killer 7,
oh my god,
the most recent one.
Killer is Dead?
Killer is Dead was pretty dark, with the exception of the whole, like, dating sim aspect that just kind of got thrown in.
Yeah, I mean, it made up for it with a nifty art style.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, obviously it's live action, so I don't know anything about the game, but
yeah.
Who knows? It could be the art style that sells this thing.
Well, Suda51, they're pretty happy using cell-shaded, art styles.
Yeah.
Like, Killer 7 is cell...
Killer 7 is...
Yeah.
Killer is Lollipop Chainsaw Dead.
Yeah, they're all the same. Anyways, moving on. Abzu. Mark, go for it.
Abzu, the developer of Giant Squids. Well, I didn't know those guys, but they announced that they did the sound director and the story guy. I can't remember the other position.
The main people from Journey.
From that game company.
That game company. Over. Which one?
That game company.
Where?
Not this game company.
Oh.
That game company.
What about that other one?
That's their game company.
Anyway, so... That game company, the main people that worked on Journey, they moved over and created their own studio called Giant Squid. And yes, they're bringing us Abzu, which is supposed to be another wowful, tearful experience.
Yeah, it's set in the bottom of the ocean. It shows like this weird Big Daddy reject that was swimming around the ocean, I guess.
Yeah, so, first the desert, then the ocean, and what's next? The center of the earth? I mean, whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna get it. Whatever.
I'm definitely gonna get it.
Next up, a personal favorite and probably top 3 contenders for best game at E3.
No Man's Land?
No Man's Sky. Thank you, Mark, for constantly being a reminder of my awful English. Anyways, No Man's Sky made an appearance, and boy, did it blow my freaking mind. We have beautiful transitions. Planet to space combat to planet. All in one fluid, no loading screen needing beautiful gameplay trailer. Yes, beautiful. And a lot of impressions was that's the game. You see him coming out of a cave. The cave gets logged. He looks at a dinosaur. The dinosaur species is logged. He looks at something else. There's an event that goes on where another animal is attacking. So he jumps in his spaceship and leaves. I'm like, all right, cool, all right. So, and I'm thinking, like, what's going to happen next, right? And this is gameplay. This is live gameplay. Flies up into space. No loading time, no buffering, no nothing. It's there. And, we have spaceships coming in. And out of nowhere, you have other players coming in. And now there's space combat. Whoa, they're fighting, right? And then from there, it takes off that, some of the enemies broke off and went to the next planet. And so you see the character chasing them down and, taking them out. And it's all in one fluid trailer. There's no load or transition or anything. No buffering. There was no texture delay in a lot of games where they promised no transitions or anything like that. There was no buffering. Something worth noting, too, was the fact that they're saying that this world is completely randomly generated.
Nobody will start in the same place.
Nobody will start on the same planet. Nobody will have the same planet. Nobody will ever revisit the same planet for a second time, so to speak. They're not going to reuse I don't want to say the textures, but the layouts for planets and stuff like that. It's all... What was the word they used? Procedural. And... I thought that was pretty great. That's definitely up there, and
I'm waiting for them to announce what the gist of the game is, which apparently they're being quiet on.
Yeah, they when I saw this, I was like, I thought that was the premise. Defend yourself from whatever enemies pop up real time, and then from there, try to catalog as much information as you can. I thought it was just going to be an open world thing, and then they're like, no, there's a real story to it.
Okay,
you're gonna have real objectives and stuff. Well, so I'm excited.
After that, they teased a little bit about, because they were talking about the PlayStation camera, and everybody else was laughing at it as if it was a joke, but the guy kept continuing on about how much of a success it was. And then he kind of dropped that image of the headset, the virtual
Project Morpheus is compatible with the eye. So if you are going to be a supporter of Project Morpheus, which I completely forgot
existed
because it just kind of like showed up and then disappeared.
And apparently it still is.
It was there at E3 for people to use, and people that were using it was saying that the games that they had for it were pretty amazing.
It would fit well with things like No Man's Sky.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get a PlayStation Eye. I mean, I think I mentioned it before. I'm a fan of the technologies, and I do want to be a strong supporter of them. And this just kind of solidifies PlayStation's Eye, knowing that their virtual reality headset is going to be compatible with it. So I'm a firm believer in what could happen. I did like, though, that there was a shot in Microsoft that was hinted in there. They said, from the beginning, you had the option to purchase it separately. Nothing about, he doesn't say, like, we didn't force it down your throat like the other guys did.
Microsoft
but they pretty much
looks
did.
Up from the table. What'd he say?
What'd he say? So, I thought that was nice. And then, what's his name? Sean Layden takes the stage, and he says he was throwing out some statistics, like 95% of players that bought a PS4 or something like that are active, like, PSN users or something like that.
No, it's not much of a surprise or a statistic, but, it's something. It got people happy. Like, ooh.
Yeah, like, pumped and stuff like that. And then, out of nowhere, they're like, and YouTube app. And at that moment, I went, S.O.B. Mark called it!
That's the wrong prediction I wanted to
called it! He said it sarcastically in our impressions video, and guess what? It was a real thing.
When I say it sarcastically, it's not supposed to happen.
But they heard Mark, and they answered.
I mean, it's great, just not at the conference.
The difference that they have with this YouTube app as compared to the others is that you're going to have the ability to real-time
share your videos on YouTube without needing to use capture device software.
Apparently
like
it's going through the Share Factory, like the little edit suite that they can
So
do.
yeah, that's kind of a nice feature to it. Though I do not want another YouTube app. I do not care. What was interesting about this was that right before they said this is all going to be about the games. Now let's talk about the YouTube app. I was like, okay,
this is gonna happen later.
yeah. So this is right around Sean Layden. I don't want to give the guy that much crap, but he really killed some big vibes that were going on. There was a lot of momentum for this conference, a lot of forward positive push, and then he took the stage and it just kind of slowed to I don't want to say a crawl, but a light jog.
Because he tried to recover it with PlayStation Now information.
Yeah, which was
Beta?
No. He said this summer more Playroom DLC. He was talking more about the PlayStation Eye is going to be coming to us, to the PlayStation Eye users, for free. That's cool. All right, new games and stuff like that for it. They talked about. He briefly mentioned the PlanetSide 2 version of PS4, and that it is coming eventually. And then he jumped into PlayStation Now, which the open beta for everyone, not just the people that registered and got a beta code. Everybody will be able to use it for July 31st. And then what was cool was that they had a lot of the newer games. Like he did mention Ultra Super Street Fighter. He did mention Dead Space 3. Some of the more recent games that came out last year.
Some cool titles.
You'll be able to play them on your PS4's PlayStation Now. So I mean that's cool. Like I did put the comment in there that the vibes were getting weaker, and then he was like, by the way, there's another piece of hardware that everybody's kind of been asking for, called Vita TV.
Yeah, the weird PlayStation TV for the Vita users. I was a bit confused as to what it was offering, but
yeah, it's the Vita TV that Japan has, but it's a little bit upgraded in the fact that now it has compatibility with PlayStation Now. And on top of that, it's coming in bundles. You could either get just the PlayStation Now for I think like $99, or you could get like the bundle with a PS or a DualShock 3 controller and an HDMI cord. So like basically your regular setup that you would need anyways for like $130, I believe was what the price was.
Yeah, some.
It was like $130,
so that way all you need is
$140.
the TV, compatible TV, and I mean the PlayStation TV, a compatible TV screen, and the controller, and you have access to PlayStation Now while somebody else is doing the PlayStation 4.
And it's supposed to be available in the fall. And that when they dropped the price on it for $99 for just the regular PlayStation Now, if you already are like a owner and stuff like that of a DualShock 3,
I thought that was really, really cool that they would launch a product like this that in Japan is more expensive. I think in Japan retail price is about 140 depending on yen, currency conversion or whatever.
Yeah.
About 140 in the US 100. So I thought that was very cool. Jumping from there, Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat X. I thought it would be called 10. My bad. Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah. I mean, X is the Roman numeral for 10. So, same difference.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much to me anymore. It's gameplay, new characters, a bee lady, and a weird small guy on top of the back of a bigger guy.
Yeah, the brutality definitely has been upped since the last game.
Showing off the X-ray attacks and the fatalities, which are really gruesome.
The one thing that popped in my mind was the question, is this gameplay sped up? Is this, like, at a 1.5 speed? Or is this, like, how fast the game is, like... Is this how fast the pace is going to be?
I didn't follow up on the like IGN or any other coverage of Mortal Kombat, so when they covered it, I missed out on any information. It looks more fluid than what Mortal Kombat 9 was, and Mortal Kombat 9 was already pretty good to begin with.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fighter fan. The only real fighter that I enjoy thoroughly is Street Fighter Third Strike. When they were showing Mortal Kombat, and I played Mortal Kombat 9, the reboot, so to speak. I liked it. The only thing I didn't like was fighting Shao Kahn for the third time in a row. That was not fun, especially because he's a cheap trumpet. Anyways, so I'm excited. I'm interested. And this is set in the same universe as Mortal Kombat 9. It's a direct sequel, but it's supposed to take place, I think they said something like 25 years in the future.
Because we're seeing apparently Johnny Cage's and Sonya Blade's son, kid.
And then we're also supposed to be seeing like Shao Kahn's daughter as well, if I remember correctly.
And Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yeah, and apparently nothing happened to them.
They're fine.
They're perfect.
And a rumored elder god showing up.
Somewhere in there. Along with a lot of new characters, actually. More than any other iteration of the game, other than like the first and the second game, when they introduced the characters.
So they went from Project Morpheus to the, what was that thing after Project Morpheus? Between the Now and the Morpheus?
The Vita the TV?
No. It was the, so they present you with Morpheus, then they present you with the YouTube app. Okay, so your Buzz is killed. They talk about PlayStation Now. Then they bring in PlayStation TV. Your Buzz is still killed. Mortal Kombat X to get you excited about games. Then they kneecap you again.
with powers. The comic book franchise. And if any of you are fans of the comic books, good on you. You're getting the TV series, so to speak, that...
exclusive to PlayStation 4, and if you're PlayStation Now, you can get it for free.
No. No, it's not exclusive to PlayStation 4. If I'm trying to remember the information. If you are a PlayStation owner, you get the first episode free. If you are a PlayStation Network or PlayStation Now,
PS Plus.
I'm sorry, PS Plus.
My bad. I said Now.
Yeah, you kind of. Thanks for throwing me off. Anyways, no. The PS Plus owner, you get the entire series free, and so that was really interesting seeing that because it's not like PlayStation that has anything to do with this. It's Sony as an entity is backing this up. And they're just throwing it in there that it's a feature that you're getting to your PlayStation Plus.
This isn't going to drive you away from Netflix or Amazon Instant Video, though.
Not at all. After that, whatever. All right. And then they were like, speaking of Sony Studios and things that they're working on, guess what? They're making a movie about. And earlier this year, they announced Sly Cooper's getting a movie. So they were like, what's another, PlayStation 2 generation game that everybody loves? Ratchet and Clank, everybody! Woo!
He's getting a movie.
Yeah, and so that I'm going to go ahead and out there. I was planning a Ratchet and Clank playthrough. This movie is set for the first half of 2015, and along with it, they're also remaking the first game.
With all the PlayStation 4 goodness. Which
with all the PlayStation 4 goodness. And they also said by remaking, they don't mean just like an HD treatment. They're also adding new guns, new levels, new, side stories and stuff like that to it. So, boom.
That's probably going to be a more elaborate playthrough.
Yeah, so that one I'm sorry everybody, Ratchet and Clank is going to be pushed back till the new one comes out because I'm pumped.
Which they didn't give any. I would expect. I wanted gameplay, but or at least a.
I'm okay knowing. No. It's supposed to come out at the same time as the movie.
Oh, okay.
With first half of 2015, like they said. So I'm okay with that. Knowing that that information alone, seeing the movie trailer, and that it's going to have new things other than just an HD treatment was enough for me. At least as a fan of the franchise. What happened after that?
Last of Us Remastered.
Yes, Last of Us Remastered.
I didn't like that. They I thought they were advertising this remake or whatever for the people who haven't yet to play it, but they introduced the game with a trailer that says spoiler alert. Essentially, the game has this has spoilers for people. I'm like, oh, okay, don't do that.
Yeah, because they were going off some statistic that like the majority of PS4 owners haven't played The Last of Us. I think they said something like 70% or something like that.
So we're going to give you a spoiler-full trailer just to wait for your release date, which is July 29th.
Next month, in 6 weeks.
You couldn't have waited?
7 weeks.
You couldn't have waited. Just whatever. I'm still going to get it. I haven't played Last of Us, and I'm a bit iffy on the story, but that spoiler thing just kind of irked me.
Yeah, right after that, they jumped into the most confusing trailer of E3. And
even for the fans.
Yeah, and that definitely takes the cake. No brainer. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, took away the award for the most convoluted and confusing trailer.
It's funny because everybody seems okay with it because that's just Metal Gear.
It's a confusing franchise.
It's like Kingdom Hearts or whatever has convoluted storylines, but apparently Metal Gear just shoots it out.
It just pops Kingdom Hearts in the kneecaps when it comes to convoluted storylines.
With a big cinematic trailer and
screaming and ashes in his face and stuff like that.
I was expecting in a Smash Brothers announcement.
And
he finds like a Smash Ball or something in like the drama. I don't know.
He's screaming at the sky with the Smash Ball in his hand. Why?
Not this year.
Not this year. Anyways, so jumping off of that, they actually talked about something that was only
rumored or played around a lot. I think.
Actually, no. The whole thing with this was everybody was expecting a PC port, and that's it. Grand Theft Auto 5. They announced that it's coming out in the fall of 2014.
For PS4,
for PS4, One, Xbox One, and PC.
The Xbox One announcement was a bit on the low key, as was the PC.
Yeah, they just because it was announced during the PS4 thing.
Yeah, so if PS4 and Xbox One and PC.
Yeah, that was just kind of like in the corner, like where nobody was looking, because they were like, "Whoa, it's on the PS4."
I'm cool with that because 5 was a really expansive game, and just having it on bigger hardware to provide it would be much cooler. I'm thinking of loading times, and I'm thinking of online matches, and I'm thinking of all
my thing with that though was Grand Theft Auto 5 was supposed to be the last big game for Microsoft.
The generation?
Like, at least Microsoft. I say Microsoft because Sony still promised us 2 more years, damn it. But of that generation. It was supposed to be the last AAA game.
This kind of cheapens it. And
yeah, it goes, oh, remember that the last hurrah that we had? We're going for a quick cash grab and porting it over to the next gen stuff. Because why? Because it's the best selling game of all time and we want more money.
I already got rid of my Xbox 360 version.
Wow, that was fast.
I gave it to my sister.
Oh, that's not bad. That's okay.
I
stays in the family.
There we go.
No, bro.
I can play it when I want to, but if I get the PS4 version, that's probably going to be the one I'm going toward.
Yeah. Well, what's really cool though is that they announced that there's going to be a transfer feature, so all your information and stuff like that from both your PS3 and 360 files can be cross-transferred cross-platform. So my 360 files are transferable to my PS4 files.
Probably through Rockstar's thing as opposed to the consoles.
Yeah, I doubt that there will be a cable linking them, otherwise things would get weird. But yes, correct. It is probably going to be through they had to sign up with a Rockstar account for some reason, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Following up right after that, Rocksteady came on stage and they showed Batman, which looks humongous.
That city
was huge. And I looked at it and asked myself, is that... Because in previous Batman games, we're limited to portions of Gotham. So I looked at that city and went, are they giving us the entirety of freaking Gotham? And from the looks of it, yes.
What was getting people's attention is that even when they showed off the big open world, him flying around, they wanted to see what the Batmobile would do.
And guess what?
It's actually pretty fluid.
Yeah, it fits in.
He jumps right into it. I mean, he goes a little bit army crazy, blowing stuff up, but then he just pops right out.
Yeah, he just jumps right out of it. The momentum pushes him up into the air, and he glides right over to another thing.
And it drives off on its own.
Yeah. Just like, in the Batman movies and stuff, with the autopilot feature. What was interesting was that during that little scene, he breaks into the Penguin's little hideout and starts asking him for somebody. I don't remember the name that he was saying.
I think they're referencing the Arkham Knight, I think.
Yeah, no, he was asking for the Arkham Knight. He was like, where is... And then it starts lagging out. And it actually, at this point of the conference, it zoomed out to the entirety of the crowd. And at this point, I
legitimately thought it was a technical
I thought something
issue.
was messing up. And so I'm like, okay, all right. So how are they going to recover to this? Because year after year, there's always some sort of technical mess-up. And it's always fun to watch them crash and burn. So I'm like, all right, what's going on here, all right? Scarecrow? Wait a minute, this was on purpose? This was part of the trailer?
With some very, very creepy, ominous, vague. And the Scarecrow look was actually pretty scary.
It was, yeah. And I was like, is this... I don't know. I thought that was great, and that's how they announced that the Scarecrow missions are going to be a PS4 exclusive, content.
Which they've done in the past.
Yeah, and so, yeah, it totally took me by surprise. And now I'm getting Gotham, the entirety of Gotham on my PS4, so I'm happy with it.
Always good.
Yeah, sorry, X-Bone. And then
they closed out their conference.
They said that's it, right? I think this was like the second or third time where they alluded to that being it.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like an hour and a half into the conference, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is like the third time that they're gonna wrap things up, and they go, okay, so we're actually gonna wrap up the things here, but let's leave you with one last game. Uncharted for the PS4. With the most realistic fly in gaming history. The one that kind of perched itself on his face.
That fly.
Was so damn detailed. I mean, they must have paid the guy a lot of money.
They throw, they do it for dramatic effect. They throw in this was used in-game footage.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool knowing that the engine that they worked on, is that amazing. Just a little bit of extra detail.
So Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
There we go. That name subtitle 2.
Supposedly alluding to the end of the series.
Yeah, that it's gonna wrap up here, folks. Pretty cool though. Not really big on Uncharted. I tried playing the first one. Boy, was it god awful. I will be jumping into the second one probably sometime in the near future because apparently that's where things actually get good.
That's where those perfect reviews came from.
Yeah, I think next to The Last of Us with its obscene amount of perfect reviews and high Metacritic score, Uncharted 2 was a close contender for the generation's highest rated game.
And of course, Naughty Dog does great work. So
yeah, apparently Naughty Dog is just
belting it
awesome.
Year after year.
Yeah, and so after that they closed it up with a really cool trailer.
A 2015 announcement, standard.
Well, yeah, 2015. But then they closed things out with a kind of montage thing, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice song to it. But that just kind of wraps up Sony's conference.
So as a whole, it did better than Microsoft.
A lot better. And if it wasn't for, spoiler alert, Nintendo's conference...
It's weird because...
Direct.
For me, I'm putting Nintendo's thing on a whole different level for those of you that already know. But when it came to... I like both of their conferences, Microsoft and Sony's. I feel a bit odd saying that one of them is better than the other because Microsoft did well and they did better than what I thought they would do.
A lot better than last year, and that's what took me by surprise. But
PlayStation, the Sony did I was a bit miffed by I'm a bit miffed personally by the TV, the YouTube, and the powers thing, as well as what was it?
The weird momentum shifts that were going on
they were very sporadic,
era. Especially
especially near the end. They were running out of things to do. It's like they were stalling, they were building the Uncharted 4 trailer behind the scenes.
Quick, more detail to the fly.
Contact Disney. We need Hulk.
We need Hulk. Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. Wait, here's the sound effect. Did it work?
But to be honest, though, it was the longest conference of the 4 on Monday. It came in at a whopping hour and 40 minutes, where Microsoft was, I think, 70 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. So it beat it by a whole half an hour. And then EA and Ubisoft was pitiful. I think EA was a total of 45 minutes, and Ubisoft was an hour.
Yeah,
borderline hour.
I know the other two are console developers as well. So, but we already covered our impressions.
If you were to cut out that part of the conference where what's his name? God, I'm dropping his name, like Shane or whatever. If you had cut out that portion of the conference, it would have still been longer than Microsoft's, and it still would have taken the cake. So in my opinion, they took it. Sony took Monday by storm.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how Mark feels about it. I know he was saying something that the momentum shift really miffed him.
As a whole, it was a long conference, but I'm glad it was a long conference filled with a lot of good info. Some not so great, but as a whole, good info.
I compared to Microsoft, the amount of gameplay trailers shown, I don't want to say dwarfs Microsoft, but there was definitely a lot more gameplay shown during Sony's conference than Microsoft's conference.
And that's what I liked about these two. These two were obviously they're fighting it out right now.
And
they're fighting because now Xbox was showing off Assassin's Creed. Oh yeah, well we got Mortal Kombat. And then match it up. I got my series being made into a movie. Okay, well I got I'm trying to think. We got Fable Legends.
Yeah. Yeah, and just going through
they were gnawing at each other.
Once again, me being the guy that likes, the internet and Reddit and stuff like that, jumped on the internet to see its vibes. And other than the weird momentum shift, all the comments that I saw were Dat Fly and OMG Destiny this Thursday. So, that's a lot better than I wish this series would die already.
Yeah.
Just saying. Because that's all I got out of Microsoft was OMG Halo and why won't this series die already?
It's funny, we're putting these two against each other when I'm getting really, really excited now because I think we're going to start our next conference video.
Boom!
I'm getting really hyper for it.
Getting antsy, pantsy.
So it's time for Sony to end. You did good. And
time for the winners to take their crown. We'll be seeing you guys next time in our next video. Right up.
Yes.
See you guys.